We were a British colony. We have about we were now we're back to being part of China. We have about 7 million people in Hong Kong, and this is our education system. With 6 years of primary school, 6 years of secondary schools, and then 4 years of tertiary education. We have around 1,000 primary and secondary schools total, and with 10 universities. Medium of instructions is bilingual, both English and Chinese, Cantonese. And now it's partially Mandarin as well. Our system is famous for extremely competitive. All the kids has to go to after school. They don't play. They have to go to more tutorial. They will go to those private tutorial centers after schools, which will run till like 7, 8, 9 p.m. and then they get to go home. One of the things that we should be proud of is our PISA scores. We usually score really, really high, usually top 3 country in terms of in all 3 categories. But then since with our system and our whole culture and everything else in Hong Kong, our student isn't the most creative students or most independent thinking students right now. But that's why the government has initiated education reform. It just started a couple of years ago. Our first batch of students just got into the university starting this year. We've introduced all these new subjects. We've modified our assessment system. It will be focusing on more open-ended questions, forcing them to, write out some answer instead of just, doing multiple choices and all this. So no more memorizations. You can't get through the exam just by memorizing all the facts. So hopefully we'll see some effect. We'll see when they come to work 4 years from now and see if that changes anything. But the government has been really big on e-learning recently, so they put in a lot of resource into it. We spent tons of money in it. So right now, all the primary and secondary school, they're fully connected. Usually they will have 3 to 5 computer labs in each school, which will be like, from 40 to 200 machines per school. And usually each school has around 800 to 1,000 students. So the ratio is quite good. And since last year, the schools are also buying all sorts of tablets, so they can just use it in a regular classroom instead of having to line up to the a computer lab. But then that brings up another problem. Our Wi-Fi in the school isn't ready yet. So we're working on that right now. But since last year, there are 2 major initiatives have started. One is they call it pilot scheme on e-learning. So they put tons of money. They pick out like 20-something projects. It's a pilot project. The school initiated. They can come up with their own proposal. It can be interactive textbook projects. It can be using Moodle to learn. It can be a game. So actually, one of the projects got picked out is game-based learning. It's sort of like a traditional RPG games, but you learn all these different subjects. And it's a 3 years pilot. We'll see the result. We'll see the final assessment report in 2 years from now. And earlier this year, it started the e-textbook scheme. I think this scheme is so mainly because we saw the Singapore and Korea is moving into e-textbook. So we feel like we have to catch up. So the government put out tons of money trying to get people to develop e-textbook for the school to use. And it also involved a pilot trial project which the school can participate. It will start in 2014. We'll see how that goes. The textbook is supposed to be cross-platform, so they can use laptop, they can use PC, Mac, iPad, Android, tablet, and they can still access the same content, which is a big hassle for the developers, which we'll see how that works. That's how we're supposed to be getting. And a quick survey, of course, I'm not going to get into it. Of course, everyone likes to play games. A little bit of background of our associations. We are a non-profit. We run workshops, seminars, and for teachers, students, and parents. For teachers and parents, we will be mostly would let them know, how games can be good, what they can learn from games. Even like playing World of Warcraft, you can learn tons of stuff, right? And for the teachers, will be what we're going to talk about will be game making workshops. We hope them to enable them to be a creator, and they can also learn subject-related materials throughout the process. We'll get into that later. And they also organize annual game development competitions. Okay, I'll give the time to Kara.
So the game making tool that we used is Kodu. Do any of you know about Kodu? Yeah, a few of you. So Kodu is a game making tool. It's developed by Microsoft, which is free of charge. So it's very easy to use. You don't have to. I personally don't know any programming knowledge, but I managed to create a game with Kodu in maybe 15 minutes. So it's just a drag and drop tool, very easy to use, and it's in 3D, so it's very attractive to the students. Yeah. So what we have been doing is we go to schools to give the students some game making classes, and in the game making process, we try to teach them some subject knowledge, for example, math and English. And as well as we want them to improve their 21st century skills, because they have to work together in groups to create a game, and then they have to use their creativity. And so our target students are from primary and secondary schools, and they are around maybe 10 to 14 years old. And our objective is to teach them, of course, to make their own games. For most of them, it is their first game. And also, we try to teach them area, volume, and the coordination system. So for the area and volume, most of the students have already have the knowledge of area and volume, but most of them have nothing. They know nothing about the coordination system. So we try to use this game making tool to bring in the knowledge to them. And then, so what we do is that, first of all, we introduce this Kodu to them. And then, because it's very easy to use, so maybe after 5 minutes, the students can get an idea of how to create the games, how to insert, how to modify the characters, how to add some obstacles, enemies. So very quickly, the students will go crazy. The boys will start to shoot each other in the games, or the girls will decorate their games with the flowers, buildings, or change the colors, etc. And then at this time, we will ask them to build something all together. So we'll introduce them the coordination system. Why they have to know the coordination system? Because they have to tell their teammates where. At which location they have placed the characters, the obstacles, and then they have to calculate the area and volume of the obstacles. So basically, in the first part of the lesson, all the students would have built the games, which is the same game. So I'll show you an example of the game. So you can see. This is a game that built by a student. That is Kodu in the middle. So, no, sir, it's okay. The target is to collect all the apples, and there is an enemy going around. So actually, the students can decide to control the Kodu, the character, with the keyboard, the mouse, or even the gamepad. Xbox gamepad, and then so you can see there is a timer there, and then they count how many apples the player has got. And yes, so they have after this. They have created the first games, so they get an idea of how to create their own games in Kodu. So the students will be divided into groups, so they will have to think of their own ideas of games. Maybe this is adventure games or multiplayer games. They can challenge each other in the game, or some puzzle games, anything that they can create. So they have to work together in groups. And then they have, after they have finished, maybe they will have 30 minutes or 45 minutes to finish the games. And then after that, they will have to present the games. They will go around and play others' games. They will have to criticize it. They have to ask questions or tell the other groups what they think about the games. And then after that, they will have to give us a report on all the things that they have added to the game. For example, the characters, apples, obstacles. They have to tell us the area, volume, and then the coordinates in the game. And then after that, they will also have to do a test, a normal test, math or mathematics, on area, volume, and coordination system. And here is another example of the games that the students have created. The goal of the game is to find an apple. So the character can shoot the enemies. So the students have spent a lot of time in creating this volcano light, this thing. And then the apple is inside, so once he has to kill the enemies, and then once he saw the apple, so he wins the game. So here is the survey. We have given the students the surveys. So for some of the results, for the subject knowledge part, first we have worked with around 5 schools. So there are around 300 students working with us, and then there are around 12 students, 12 teachers. And then the result of the test, the math test, is very positive because before this class, they actually have no knowledge on the coordination system. But on the test, they have scored 92% correct. So it's quite positive. And then most of the students love this lesson very much because it's the first time that they can actually play or even create their own games in the classroom. So they think that is very surprising. And then they agree that they have learned something in the games. So now they are more familiar with the math concept because they actually apply it. They don't just learn it, but they apply it into the real situation. And then we also asked them about whether they have improved their 21st century skills. So most of them think that they did improve in, for example, critical thinking, creativity, and then they have worked together to collaborate with each other. And then lastly, most of them, after this lesson, they have created their games, and then they are now more confident in themselves. And then the students' feedbacks, they are very happy in the class. After the class, actually, most of us came to us. Most of them came to us and asked if they can continue to build the games at home. So they really like this Kodu game making tool. They said that they will go home and continue to create their own games, and then they will ask their classmates to play the games. So it's very motivated. They are motivated, and then they think that it's a very interesting lesson. And then for the teachers, the feedbacks are also very positive because they can see that the students are more engaged in the classroom. And then some of the students normally maybe they don't like to attend the class, but in these game making lessons they're more active, and then they are willing to help each other. and then work with others to create their own games. And some of the difficulties that we encountered is that in some schools, the teachers or the parents are not ready to use digital games in the classroom. And then maybe in some schools, all the teachers and parents are ready, but the hardware cannot support, because this Kodu tool is in 3D. So maybe in some schools, the computers are not ready for this, to use these 3D game making tools. And then in the future, we allow actually trying to encourage the teachers to use other game making tools. There are actually many other game making tools in the market, and then we're trying to promote them to use not just Kodu, and more of other free game making tools to produce games. Maybe not just on the maybe the students can actually produce games on the iOS or Android platform, which is also very easy to do so. So yeah, this is all that we want to share.